Hi, everyone. My name is Alvin. I'm a release engineer at HashiCorp. You've probably used some of our tools such as Terraform, Vagrant, and Vault. Every day, we read new blog posts on the internet about technological decisions, such as Uber moving from Postgres to MySQL, or Netflix having full-cycle developers. But what's really often omitted is the how. How do they get from nothing to the final product that we always get to read about? I want you to take a step back and think about the last cross-cutting large organizational project that you had. As I go through the iterative steps for building out a CI system at HashiCorp, I want you to reflect on how those steps may apply to your projects. First, we start off with discover and analyze, where we address the 5 Ws. Who's going to be supporting the solution? Who are our stakeholders? Who will make those key decisions in the project? Next, we move on to what. What are the goals and objectives? What are the requirements? What are some of the external tools that we need to integrate with? For CI, we needed to integrate with AWS and, drumroll please, Microsoft GitHub. Next, we move on to where. Where does the solution need to be built? Is it a SaaS solution, or does it need to be air-gapped? And where our users are. For us, it wasn't geographical, but it was open source versus internal employees. Next is when. When does the solution need to be in place? What's the cadence for maintenance? And figuring out when we need to deploy it. And finally, figuring out why. Why is this solution necessary? Was it just some cool blog post you read over the weekend? Or does it drive some sort of business value? And how does it help the company? After we figure out the 5 Ws, we move on to the information gathering phase, where we conduct interviews. For CI, what we did was sit down with all the teams throughout their next release and figure out all those pain points firsthand, instead of having them regurgitate a wiki that was maybe only 80% complete anyway. Next, we synthesize those notes and identify the different bottlenecks that there are, and understand that we can only move as fast as our slowest link. At HashiCorp, we synthesize those notes into an RFC, where we propose the change and explain why. And for future engineers, it's a way to explain why something exists in our systems. The RFC process also enables people to give feedback asynchronously, which is very important in a remote culture. And just like the caps, it's a document to help us believe in the vision. After we build out the RFC, we develop success criteria. One of the strategies that we use is SMART, which is an acronym that helps with goal setting. After we develop the success criteria, we move on to the recommend phase, where we build out POCs and determine which technologies are best fit our requirements. Remember to just start and iterate. No plan is going to be perfect, and things will change in the future. When the solution is finally built, we use a phased rollout approach so that we can celebrate all those small successes that we outline using our SMART goals. And we want to recognize people or teams that embrace the technology and use them as evangelists to help push other teams towards the new technology. Be accessible to the teams throughout the rollout process, and have documentation ready so that even though you install Jenkins and tell them that pipelines are available, have them use a standardized procedure. So now we're going to talk about our HashiCorp principles that we made public. Not everybody is a unicorn. So we strive to become someone like Netflix, but it's okay to not be as organizationally mature as them. We want to be kind to each other, and that helps to foster a positive environment. Be humble and understand that not everyone knows everything, and come into it with an open mind. And lastly, remember to evaluate and reflect. Reflect on what went well, what you could have done differently, and even in the phased approach, reflect on what worked well in phase 1 and apply it to phase 2. And I just want to leave you with this quote, so that next time you read a blog post about how somebody migrated all their applications from AWS to Azure in 5 seconds, think about the journey that DevOps practitioner in the trenches took, and appreciate all the work that they did. Thank you. And go Caps.